Follow the last clue down where the light never reached. Every stray detail, every voice nobody believed. We keep the tide rolling for the ones they walk past. Follow the last clue till the truth looks right.
This special edition of The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about a case or cases that you would like us to look into, please email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com.
Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there
Happy Mother's Day.
and all of those that are no longer with us. We just wanted to take some time to spend honoring, celebrating, and remembering all moms and fur moms.
Especially fur moms.
They are a special breed.
We're finding out that it's difficult. Haha. Took me a second. The Microsoft 97 processor just got that. It takes a special breed to be a mom. It's not cut out for everybody. I was raised by a very strong, independent mother who's no longer with us. And she had to do whatever it took to make ends meet so that we could get by, so that we didn't go without for anything. We struggled, sure. There were times that things were lean, but we never went without.
Same. I was one of those that was fortunate enough to grow up in a two-parent household. And there were times my mom worked full-time, worked part-time, and then was a stay-at-home mom. So she did it all and made it look easy. So I would like to give a special shout out to my mom, Sharon Davis.
And I would like to give a shout out to my mother again, who's no longer with us, Cynthia Smith.
Happy Heavenly Mother's Day.
She was one of a kind. That's about all I can say without going into a full podcast episode.
Which we may need to do because there are some very interesting stories there. And your mom was a boy mom.
Yes. I have two brothers, one on each side, so I am the middle child. Classic middle child syndrome. This is exactly why I do this podcast. I have middle child syndrome, so I need all the focus on me all the time. I need the spotlight. No, I was the forgotten one. I mean, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I was the one that had to.
You had an older brother and you had a younger brother.
Fend for myself. The older one was always old enough to do stuff that I wasn't old enough to do. And my younger brother breastfed until he was 23. So, I mean, that's...
Most men can only hope.
I mean, so, I had to learn.
Sure.
I mean, I remember one time, like I said, we had enough, but we had to take care of our stuff. And I remember that my mother had taught me how to do the laundry. She had showed me, how to use the washer, how to use the dryer, everything. So the first time that I went to use the washer on my own, I did a typical boy thing. So kids may not understand this. The washers used to have a push button on the knob that you turned. So you would pop the button out and turn the knob to the cycle that you wanted to use and then wash your clothes. So in typical boy fashion, I filled the washing machine probably way too full, and I had set it on a small cycle because I remembered one of the things that she taught me was to put the laundry detergent in, set it on a small cycle, let the small cycle run for a little bit, suds up the water, get as much out of the soap as you could, and then stop it, put your stuff in, close it back, start it back up. Well, what I did was I did all of those things, but then as I was walking back to the house, I remembered, it was probably football pants or baseball pants. I remembered
sports
something.
Pants.
Yes, sports ball pants. I remembered something that needed to go in the washer. And so I ran back to my room, ran to the washer. When I flipped the lid up, I hit the button unknowingly. So at this point, the washer is full of water, full of clothes. I threw the pants in, I shut the door. The washing machine does not start moving at all.
Okay.
And it continues to move. So instead of going back through my steps like she taught me, I frantically started spinning the button to see if I could get it to start up. I lifted the lid, put it back down. What I did originally was I lifted the lid violently enough to hit the button, the lid of that was metal washing machine. It hit the button and pushed the button back in, which inactivated the washing machine. I didn't remember that.
So instead, you were trying to do the Nintendo reset.
So, yes. So this washing machine is full of water and full of clothes, and it no run a nada. So I remember on the 40-foot telephone cord calling my brother, carrying the phone all the way to the washing machine, telling him I broke the washing machine. I am dead. My ass is grass, and my mom's going to mow it. I mean, I
hadn't heard that in a long time.
I remember I had to call my older brother, and of course I'm frantic, and I haven't hit puberty yet, so I sound like Mickey Mouse in a fire. And he finally has to come home, and he comes home, and I swear it was the most it was one of the most disgusted. You got to remember there was 3 boys, so he had disgusted looks for me on other things. But I remember he took one look at the washing machine, he lifted the lid, he closed it back down, and he pushed the damn button, and the washing machine started right up. And I'm sure he called me an idiot or a moron, something to that effect. And he, rightfully so, he absolutely should have called me like 12 names in a row, because he came home, and we lived 9 miles south of the town that I went to school in. So it wasn't like he just came from around the block to come check this washing machine that my dumbass had not pushed the button on. It was a 10-mile drive basically. So yes, I remember those things. I still do laundry. I make sure and check the buttons, but yes, that was one of the...
You still do the Nintendo reset?
Yeah, I certainly do. I check all the buttons, all the boxes. It's like when I leave the house and I pat myself down, phone, keys, wallet. I literally police frisk myself to make sure I have everything.
And then I still do the shout outs. Do you have your
Yes.
A? Got your B? C?
Yep.
Okay.
Because she knows I work off of Microsoft 97 processor, so she has to double check my work.
Well, and it was kind of the opposite for me. So your mom was a boy mom with 3 boys. Well, my mom, girl mom, 3 girls. And I was the baby. So
That sounds terrifying.
I'm sure it was for my dad.
That sounds terrifying for a human. How far apart were y'all?
Oh, God. Now I'm going to have to math. Between
The math
oldest
segment was brought to you by the English department.
abacus.
Fair.
So my oldest sister that I grew up with is 6 years older than me.
Okay.
And then my middle sister, 4 years older. So 6 years from oldest to youngest.
Okay.
And it was, my mom was great. Like I said, she made everything look easy, whether she was working full-time, working part-time, coming home, taking care of the house, making dinner, all of the things that moms did and still do to this day. So I was just terrorized by my older sisters.
Sure.
And, those were things that mom never knew until, later on in life where she was like, oh, I knew. Or, things would come up and she would just have that intrinsic, holy, life sucking. I had no idea.
Yep.
So just kind of polar opposites as us for children, but basically kind of the superhuman moms.
Yeah. My mom introduced me, unwillingly, but introduced me to my favorite side dish. And this will be my favorite side dish until the day that I leave this earth. So we used to have school lunch just like most other schools. And when we would go to school lunch, I had friends that liked this. I was disgusted by it. They would serve on certain days. We had the plastic trays. A lot of us a lot of us of a certain age remember the plastic trays that you got in the cafeteria at lunch. And they would serve this, I can only refer to it as liquid rice. It had rice in it, but to see the rice, you kind of had to wade through this white, milky water. And I had some friends that loved it. They were like, you got to try this. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to try that. I don't want to use a straw to eat my rice.
That does not sound appealing.
No, it was disgusting. I wish I had a photo of that. If any of my classmates have a photo, I don't know why you would, of that rice, I will feature that on the podcast. It was horrible looking.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So my mom would make white rice with cream of mushroom soup. And now we refer to this as Mimi's rice. My daughter has tried to call it Daddy's rice. It's not Daddy's rice. It's Mimi's rice. She's the one that made it for me. And it came to be that she would make it and I wouldn't try it because I was traumatized by the rice that I saw in the cafeteria. And you're talking about two totally different things. You could actually see the rice and you could see the squares of mushroom because she used Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, I can only imagine. And she'd put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some butter. It's a very basic side dish, but
Very popular here now.
yeah. And she would make it and I wouldn't try it because again, I had this traumatizing experience like at least once a week at the school cafeteria of seeing my friends suck down this oyster type rice.
This is
The only thing it didn't
visual.
have was a shell. So she just begged me one time to try it. And I was like, God, I'll try it. Just, you know how you are when you're in preteen, teenager. I'll just try it so she'll shut up. I got another story about that. You know what? I might save that for exclusive. I have a story about my mother that changed our relationship. And it happened during my teenage years.
Oh, my.
But it involved a word that you should never say to your mother.
Oh.
And it involved superhuman strength to this day.
I just got a little stronger thinking about what that word could possibly be because I know what one it is for me.
I'm telling you, it involves superhuman strength that I have rarely, if ever, seen since that incident. Let's go back to rice before I start. Oh my God. I just had a fly. I just got warm. And I'm drinking coffee from No Shift Coffee Company.
And
but
there's a
seriously,
Mother's Day shout out for them. They've got a mama.
Yeah.
So
Mama Coffee. Shout out Mama Coffee.
Mama No Shift.
Mama No Shift.
Coffee Company.
That might end up being a WWE wrestler's Mama No Shift.
Oh.
But anyway, she begged me to try this rice. The minute rice, cream of mushroom soup, butter, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. She begged me to try it. I was like, okay, I'll try it. I tried it and I loved it. It became so popular that I would request it with meals that it didn't typically go with. Like she would make something that didn't really need a rice side dish, and I would still request Mimi's rice. And at times here in the house, I will make it as a meal for myself.
Yes.
But yeah, that is the story of how I almost missed out on my favorite side dish that came from my mother. It took me quite a long time to figure out exactly how she made it because my mom was very good at teaching. She wasn't necessarily great at instructing, so I didn't really have like written instructions on exactly how she did everything. So when she was gone, it was kind of a, FAFO type situation where I was trying to figure out
a lot of that going on growing up.
I was trying to remember what she did during dinner because again, I was the middle child. I would help cook when she wanted to go shop. I was the only kid that got drugged to go shop. I have a Star Wars story about that may be part of Clueless too. It's not as interesting as the other one, but maybe part of Clueless as well. But I was the one that did everything with my mom because my older brother was too old and cool, and my younger brother again had breast milk pumped until he was in his 20s, and laying in his bed with all of his Cabbage Patch dolls.
Okay.
That's true. My younger brother had a plethora of Cabbage Patch Kids. I don't know if I'd use the word obscene, but in this day and age, there's probably a photo out on the internet somewhere of a kid laying in the middle of Cabbage Patch Kids, and it's probably the kid of the person that invented Cabbage Patch Kids. But that was my little brother. He had a disturbing amount. I didn't have a one. I think that's a very, very good description, as he had a disturbing amount of Cabbage Patch Kids.
Well,
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think we might have a whole episode on you and your childhood, and there might be some true crime in there, especially with rice and Cabbage Patch dolls. I personally would also like to give a couple of Mother's Day shout outs to some of my other favorite mothers. Mm-hmm. One that was like another mother to me growing up, Carol Daith, who my best friend Cindy lost her mom not too terribly long ago. I spent so much time at Cindy's house, where literally Mama Carol was literally just another mother to me. And she was another mom, worked full time, 2 older boys, and then Cindy as the youngest. Mm-hmm. But her and her husband owned their own pool company in Florida. So you can imagine how busy they were. But sweetest lady, second mother I could ever have asked for, besides the other Naomi Phelan. But Mama Carol was absolutely sweet. But she was also one of those women you never wanted to make angry, ever.
Yeah.
So happy Heavenly Mother's Day to Carol Daith. Okay. And then another one of my favorite mothers, our daughter, Caitlin. She's a special breed as well. Not only is she our child, but she works full time, has 3 young children, and goes to school full time. Yep. Nursing school at that.
And is excelling at everything.
Everything. She literally just got the highest award at work that she could possibly have gotten for being in the top 1% of performers within her company, which is a Fortune 500 company.
We're super proud of her.
Super proud.
She's worked her ass off.
She has worked her ass off, and she's going to kill me for saying this, but cheeky monster, you get them, girl. You get them, baby girl. I have a couple others I'd like to mention. I'm not going to go into detail. Nope, that's what I was going to say. I'm sure you've got some moms you would like to wish a happy Mother's Day, happy Heavenly Mother's Day too. But
so I had a couple of bonus moms, because
bonus moms. That's good.
My mom worked quite a bit, and when she had her weekends, she enjoyed her weekends, and so she would go out, live a little bit of life after working 50 hours a week, etc. So without going into, too many stories, I would like to just give a special shout out to Larita Junk Pud. Still very sorry for anything that, Eric and I did to traumatize you, including the cherry jello with raisins in it that we created one night. Yeah, it was terrible. It was a bad idea. It was my idea. I don't think Eric had anything to do with it. I think it was totally my idea. It was a terrible idea. But thank you, Pud, for putting up with me the way you did. You didn't have to, and you did it anyway. And Vicky Jenkins, also another one of my bonus moms. Chris's mom always took me in. We always had a lot of fun at their house. Where I gathered my love for popcorn, because we would do like movie nights and stuff, and we would sit and watch movies with Vicky and Rick and all of us kids, and Vicky or Rick, or maybe both of them, would make microwave popcorn for us, and that's where I learned a few of my little microwave popcorn tricks. Not really tricks, just little things that I still do. Okay. I don't let the microwave go all the way down to 0 when the popcorn pops. I kind of sit there at the end and just listen like Rick would. And then the way I salt my popcorn is kind of the way Vicky used to do it. I know they won't believe me, but that's just how it's one of those things I've held on to.
I was wondering why you did it that way. But I understand now. Yep. But we've got some moms that we want to definitely make sure we mention. One of our top fans, Stacy Martin. Stacy, happy Mother's Day. She is also a fairly new Gigi.
with some grandbabies now. So happy Mother's Day to Stacy. And one of our favorite fur moms that we got to meet for the second time this weekend over, we're just going to say the business name, Awesome Possum.
Yes.
In Moore, Oklahoma.
Was that a poodle or a golden doodle that she had on the
I don't
table
know,
when
but
we
he
went
was
in?
beautiful.
Oh, and he was sitting so pretty. He didn't care that we came in. He almost kind of
He looked
vogue.
like he had a smile.
He almost vogue kind of turned his head and looked at us, and then he was like, "Okay, there's other people here. Great."
Yeah. Another mama, and we'll call her a page mama, page mother. One of the Facebook pages that we spend a lot of time in, we're going to say Happy Mother's Day to Julie Wilson, because she is a major babysitter. You know who you are, girl.
Oh my God, I don't know how she does it.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can scream through Facebook, but she has every right to do so.
Absolutely every right. And on another note, a mother that we've talked about her son constantly and will continue to do so, Amanda Powell, who lost her son, Joe Powell, a little over a year ago, but something no mother really ever wants to have to do. But we want to say happy Mother's Day to Amanda Powell.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's something that no mother should ever go through.
Ever.
And I know that it's a day-to-day struggle, and sometimes it's minute by minute, but it's admirable the way that you've handled yourself given the circumstances
strong
that
woman
you've been handed.
Absolutely. And also happy Heavenly Mother's Day to keep the memory of Janice Ashcraft Lilly alive. Her daughter Denise is constantly advocating for her mom to give her story justice, keep it going until there are answers.
And that story's not over yet,
It
folks.
is definitely not over yet, and one that I don't think will ever be over for you.
Oh, that's got to be Karen Silkwood.
Yes.
That's a story that my mom and I shared. She was the first person to ever show me the movie Silkwood. It's a story that she was very passionate about, and now I am very passionate about. I do feel like that story is going to have an ending within my lifetime.
If you have anything to say about it, absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. The family of Karen Silkwood, we are still advocating for you, and we're still doing what we can behind the scenes. I know a lot of people don't see it, and a lot of people don't see a lot of the stories that we work on.
No, we're kind of private about what we do behind the scenes, other than some of the goofy stuff that we show on video.
Yeah,
but
when we take on a story, we get very quiet, and that's by design.
yes,
It's one of those things. Just because you don't see us working doesn't mean we aren't working, and
that's very true. We're always working.
That also applies to Karen Silkwood.
Absolutely. But we wanted to make sure that we wanted to do a special Mother's Day episode, because everything we do is typically so heavy and deep. We wanted to keep it a little bit more lighthearted, even though we are doing some remembrances here on Mother's Day. And I'm sure there are so many more mothers that we know we aren't going to be able to mention by name, but every single follower, everyone that comments, that interacts, that likes the Unforgotten, great Facebook page, does a lot of interacting. That's another mama page that we're going to say Happy Mother's Day to, but we don't want to forget anybody, so we have to say Happy Mother's Day
Shout
to
them out
all.
in the comments. Put your mom in the comments. Give her a shout out on our Facebook page, wherever you listen, YouTube. Just shout your mom out.
Yeah, say her by name. And happy Mother's Day to all of the cities, countries, everywhere that we have all of our listeners from, across the pond, England, Europe, Asia, South America, everywhere.
Australia, post a picture. Just make sure it's not upside down.
But we did want to make sure that we came on and gave Happy Mother's Day message to every single one that listens. Everyone, thank you, and Happy Mother's Day.
Follow